there, this is The Power Circuit, an informative program brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. I am Amara Agogoisi, taking you on this program. Coming your way shortly is a report on the launch of Rural Electricity Access Scheme in Nigeria by the Economic Community of West African States. In Lagos, the Transmission Company of Nigeria has completed a preventive maintenance for the Lekki Transmission Substation and its associated line. We'll also bring to you a special report on a town hall sensitization meeting tagged "The Importance of Transmission Towers in the Development of a Nation" at Itori Town in Ogun State, partnering with communities to safeguard power transmission assets. To accelerate the access to electricity across rural areas in Nigeria using off-grid renewable energy sources, the Economic Community of West African States, supported by the West African Development Bank, has launched the Regional Off-Grid Electricity Access Project. This was formally done in Abuja, where a national workshop for each of the ECOWAS member states started from. Here is the report.
The ECOWAS is not only committed to developing off-grid electrification in West Africa, it is also playing a similar role in the on-grid electricity space through the West African Power Pool (WAP), shared by the Managing Director, Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz. WAP is working to launch the Regional Electricity Market, REM, towards improving on-grid electricity trade across the 15 member countries. One of its core projects is an ongoing 800-kilometer North-Core transmission project, a 330 kilovolt power line from Nigeria that connects Niger, Benin, Togo, and Burkina Faso. Speaking at the event, the Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar D. Aliyu, said this would help to increase access to electricity in Nigeria. The minister, who was represented by the ministry's acting director, Department of Renewable and Rural Power Access, Engineer Ali Dabshima Abubakar, said the focus of ROGIP is to increase access to electricity for households, commercial enterprises, public institutions, and for productive uses through stand-alone solar photovoltaic systems in West Africa and 4 countries of the Sahel regions. Engineer Aliu also said solar home systems (SHS) will be deployed to rural areas by providing developers with loans from the World Bank through banks and guaranteed by the Nigerian government for projects in public health centers and schools. Coordinator of the project, El Haji Sela, said the project is framed in the ECOWAS program on access to sustainable electricity services, EPASES, directly contributing to the goals of the West African Regional Renewable Energy Policy, ERREP, with a target to provide universal access to electricity to the region by 2030.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has executed an annual preventive maintenance on the line bay at the Lekki Transmission Substation in Lagos. The power circuit brings you a highlight of the hands-on exercise squarely executed by the in-house engineers of the company.
Living up to its policy direction, the management of TCN believes in proactive and preventive maintenance of its transmission network, which was done on the Lekki Transmission Substation Line Bay just a few days ago. The Aja and Lekki transmission substations have a 330, 132, 33 kilovolts power transmission capacity with a 330 kV transmission line connecting both stations. The Lekki transmission substation is a hub for supplying bulk power to distribution load centers at Lekki Phase 1, Oniru, Ilegushi, Waterfront, Igwefong, among others. The TCN maintenance crew carefully inspected the various parts of the switchyard comprising the power transformers, the circuit breakers, layers, and the line base. In less than 4 hours, the crew completed the annual maintenance and restored bulk power evacuation from the substation through the 330 kV feeder to the various service areas around Lekki and its environs.
Let's go for a break. We'll be right back.
Just count all the blocks, eh?
Sir, we are transmission company of Nigerian linesmen, and we just observed that you're about to erect a structure here.
You're very observant. Yes, I'm trying to put up a shopping mall of 200 shops that will serve this neighborhood. And I'm very excited about the project.
But sir, have you observed that it is under high tension transmission lines? It could snap, drop on the shopping mall and electrocute everyone inside it. Moreover, sir, these lines emit electromagnetic waves that are harmful to the health of human beings.
Really? This could cause so much harm?
Absolutely, sir.
Imagine if there's a fire outbreak in the mall. It could destroy the transmission lines, causing outage to many states in the country.
Erecting a structure under high-tension transmission lines will not help government efforts to grow our power supply and grow our economy. Be part of growth. Do not destroy electricity power installations. Little vigilance and concern on our part is necessary to protect transmission infrastructure nationwide. Be vigilant.
This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
Dear esteemed viewer, as the federal government and the power sector operators strive to improve electricity supply, to ensure to do your bit by observing all energy efficiency and electrical safety practices. Turn off the bulbs in electrical appliances when they are not in use or when you're leaving your residence. Ensure you only use energy-saving bulbs, as that could reduce your electricity consumption level, and you can also save some costs, especially if you're using a prepaid meter. Did you know that you can save more energy when you iron your clothes in bulk than doing them in bits? So try these tips out and you will be glad you did. Kindly stay with us for the rest of the reports. A power transmission line is one of the core assets in the Nigerian electricity supply industry. This is because it is the transporter of high voltage electricity from a power generation plant to a distribution substation before the electricity voltage is lowered and supplied to residential areas and industries. In this value chain, once there is a disruption to the transmission line, you and I may not get electricity supply, and that is why we have a role of protecting power transmission lines and its associated substations, among other power infrastructure.
To drive home this point, the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) has organized another town hall sensitization meeting tagged the importance of transmission towers in the development of a nation. The meeting, which was held at Itori Town Hall, Iwekoro, local government area in Ogun State, had participants from the various parts of the state as well as staff of the TCN Oshogbo region in attendance. The company earlier in the year organized a town hall meeting at Itu Town in Akwa Ibom State to sensitize Nigerians on their role in safeguarding power transmission assets in their communities. At the latest town hall meeting on power transmission towers in Itori Town in Ogun State, officials of TCN explained the role of the infrastructure, which consists of a 330 kV power transmission line with 8 towers and the 132 kV transmission line with 8 towers also. These power transmission lines and their towers, just like a railway line, run from a substation often around a power generation station to various other transmission substations over a long distance to where consumers utilize the transmitted electricity. Addressing the participants at the meeting, the Regional Transmission Manager, Lagos Region of TCN, Engineer Jiboyi Oluwagbenga, enjoined participants on the protection of power transmission infrastructure in their communities to avoid disruption in bulk power supply to communities. Engineer Jiboyi also said the sensitization was brought to Itori Town of the state as there was a new 132 kilovolt power transmission line around there.
It's a new community added to our network. And I said we should call this meeting. Since it's around here, they say they don't know that the line, they saw the contractor working, but they don't know that the line has been energized. So it means we accepted that blame for not carrying them along. In other areas, we have people that report our line to us if we cancel on daily basis. If they notice anything, they will call you. So that is the thing we want to build up around this area also.
Some of the participants made comments and inquiries on what is required of them in the quest to enhance the protection of power transmission assets in the communities. Responding, Engineer Jiboye, while summing up the aim of the meeting, said, "Collective success is the best driver of national development in any nation." And that was what TCN was expecting from the participants.
For most people, they don't think of collective success. Whatever comes to them, if they don't have light, if they can buy generator and buy diesel, they are okay. For some of us, to pass road, we will instead of that look for money to buy trailer or cheap to overcome the bottle. But eventually, we now realize that it will get to a point, as I used to discuss with my friends, we will get tired of personal success and be looking for collective success. Because it will get to a point, according to Awolowo, in the past, he said, what will happen if we don't train the children or the poor is that our own children will not be able to walk free in the society.
The Lagos Regional Manager further explained to the participants the effects of the encroachment of the right-of-way of power transmission lines, saying government authorities could demolish structures within those areas, aside the health dangers of living close to power transmission lines.
Most of this process, when you start a foundation and we come to the environment and say, please don't build here, you continue. By the time we register, file all those things, send it to ministry, send it to everywhere. Maybe your own case will be number 1 million in the Ogun State. By the time they start treating it might get to 5-6 years, and you're already living in the house. And when they come for demolition, say, no, are they blind? I've been living in this house for the past 6 years. Is it not that they saw me? This is the problem we have with that. So, that is why we are appealing to you to sensitize your people, to always correct your people. Let them see reason. Yes, even, you see what happened recently in Lagos, Surulere to be specific. You know how congested that place is? They bulldoze from our station at Surulere to the express. You will see, we fell back, pulling down 3-story building. But will you believe it? Less than 1 year, some people have started again. You go there to advise them they attack you. We don't have any other thing to do, just to register it and start processing again.
Engineer Jiboye also addressed participant concerns on farming near power transmission lines.
We do this for economic trade, provided it doesn't threaten our line. We don't want order to give everybody. You can do farming that will be very low under it. It even helps us because when we go to the community, they tell us more about our line. When we ask them questions, I remember we have one problem at J4 area. The line keep on having problems tripping. When we were patrolling it, it's those people doing those small stuff and I called us of that. This is where we used to rain that sand every night. And that is what we expect from you. Because when we patrol, anytime you see us going, there is a problem. That's what we are looking for. If you are hearing any abnormal sound or sparking in the night or during the day, you will go. The light will stop because the line has three. We will restore it. Sometimes it stay, it trim back. But when we are checking it, if you notice, just call our attention to it, that this is it.
The TCN official further lauded the members of the Iwekoro community for giving the company the required support. He also gave them a contact they can use to reach out to him on developments about power transmission line in Iwekoro town.
We will not stop here. Now there are two people who have taken us as part of you. We are family. We will, please, before you go, we will display our number. Mine, a man directly here. You can reach to us. I've told you, if we have a long list of your number, I will store it and put all your names and put this location. So if you think you cannot call me, just flash me. I will respond by calling you back, sir, or back, because I know you have important information to pass to me. This is one standing here. It's more than $1 million. After vandalization, see what happens. For us now to repair this one, we are talking in the range of close to $1 million or more. We have to remove, to redo. It's different from virgin. Do you understand what I mean? If you reconstruction is worse than you are going to a virgin land to do one. And if we now have 5 of this, how many millions have you set us back?
After this break, the special report on protecting transmission lines and towers continues. Please hang on.
Oh my God, what caused this fire? Eh? Hey, God help us. Assuming this thing happened in the night, nobody from this building would have come out alive.
Madam, this is why we have warned landlords not to erect structures under the high voltage lines. If this high voltage line fell on the ground, nothing would have happened. But because this structure has been wrongly erected and the high voltage line fell on it, that is why whatever has happened has happened. We advise landlords to always consult the Transmission Company of Nigeria on their safety compliance on the right of way, so that something like this does not happen again.
Oga, we are talking of burnt house and you are talking of right of way. What is right of way and safety compliance?
Safety compliance simply means before erecting any structure around any electricity tower or line, there are safety distances you must adhere to. These safety distances are 25 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 330 kV, 15 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 132 kV, and 7.5 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 33/11 kV. These stipulated safety distance instructions are what we call right of way. If these simple, basic safety distances are adhered to, trust me, there will be less loss of property and lives resulting from cut transmission lines.
Visit Transmission Company of Nigeria office nearest to you for your safety regulations before erecting structures. Let us save lives and properties and build a stronger Nigeria. This message is from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
Meanwhile, Radio Nigeria correspondent Wale Oluokun harped on the increase in communication by TCN with more community residents across the host area of power transmission lines and substations nationwide as part of increasing surveillance.
While we understand the sensitivity and importance of the transmission to electricity generation in Nigeria, I believe that by now, due to this issue of sabotage, there is need for us to find a multi-dimensional approach, solution to this. When you have the social media approach, where they can even take picture, where they can even tell you certain things from that community, where you can say, okay, from so community, this is what they have observed. This is, and you also can be monitoring, giving them questions from people living at so village, Hope all is well. You can be monitoring your, in fact, from possibly a kilometer or meters from each other. That desk is what transmission company can also act to be monitoring these facilities. While we are talking about sophistication and modern, solutions to problem, this is a modern day problem, sabotage. Some of them don't know even the reason why they are damaging this property. So if you also deploy this communication approach, social media approach, it can also help. So before somebody will even report, call you, and those people will disperse, they can have pictorial what have you, or what is happening, even if they are departed the place.
The chairman of Iwekoro local government area of Ogun State, Chief Olabode Sukomi, appreciated the Transmission Company of Nigeria for the sensitization program. He also added his voice to educate the participants on the protection of the 132 kV transmission line in Iwekoro town. The Assistant General Manager, Papalanto Sub-Region of TCN, Engineer Adio Nikbekun Adeshina, who spoke in Yoruba, thanked the participants for their time at the highly interactive meeting. Engineer Adeshina also noted that with the knowledge they have had, the residents will be safe around power transmission lines, while TCN is assured that the lines will receive more protection from the host communities.
You have heard from TCN officials about the power transmission lines, towers and substations, and what you can do to safeguard them so TCN can always serve you better. We promise to continue in bringing you more informative reports. This is the much we can bring to you in this edition of the Power Circuit. ECOWAS has launched a rural electricity access scheme in Nigeria. TCN completes preventive maintenance for the Lekki transmission substation and its associated line. We also brought to you a special report on a town hall sensitization meeting tagged "The Importance of Transmission Towers in the Development of a Nation" at Itori Town in Ogun State. It was to strengthen TCN partnership with community members to safeguard power transmission facilities. We have got you covered, as you can find all episodes of the Power Circuit on the TCN YouTube channel. There are also more platforms that you can visit for further inquiries about TCN. I am Amara Agugoisi. Thanks for watching.